All right, and welcome back to another Containerization Crash Course. My name is Jeff Krakenberg, and today we are going to be going deeper into the Docker Compose basics to write one of those compose files that we talked about last time. If you are following along, I am in a new directory in my home directory called Compose Basics. If you want to follow along, go ahead and make that on your end with a command like this: mkdir compose basics and cd compose basics to make it and move into it. But that is where we're going to start out. It's important to always kind of segment these files to make sure that we don't accidentally confuse Docker by presenting information that we don't actually want to use, because a lot of times we're going to be using that dot to represent the current directory. But I already have some stuff in mine. I'm going to ls to show it off. I have 3 files: app.py, Dockerfile, and requirements.txt. This is the programmatic side of what we're doing. This is not a programming crash course, so I'm not going to go through why and how all of this works. This was all pulled from the Docker Compose Quick Start. If I cat my app.py really quick, you'll see that this is just a pretty simple Flask and Redis app to display a web page that does a thing. Clear that out, and if I cat my requirements, this is just a file that says, hey, we need Flask and we need Redis. And if I finally cat that Docker file, this is what pulls it all together, right? It's going to say run app.py for my Flask app and copy the requirements.txt into here, and then install the things from the requirements.txt to make sure that we have everything we need and that it works. Or at least we hope it works. Who knows? The one more file that we need is actually that compose file. So the first thing I'm going to do is vi docker-compose.yml, .yml, I mean. So we can go ahead and open that up. You could do just compose.yml. I don't know why I'm in the habit of doing docker compose. And I'm just going to write in here what we need at a very basic level. First off, we're going to open up with our top level instructions. This services tells Docker Compose what it is going to be managing. And what it's going to be managing is a web service, and it is going to build it from our current directory. It is then going to expose the port 8000 on our host and match it up to, helps if you have, words are hard, helps if you click the right thing. I'm really bad at keyboarding today. All right, so 8000 is going to be exposed on the host, and it's going to be tied to 5,000 inside of our container. So now what we're saying is, hey, Docker Compose, set me up these services. I need a web service built from my current container, and I need the port of 8,000 to be accessible on my host and tie it to 5,000 inside the container. Now I need to give it what it's working with. It's going to work with Redis, and it's going to use the image of Redis Alpine, which is a lightweight Linux thing. I don't want to go deeper than that today. But essentially this is saying, hey, you're in charge of my web service, and you're in charge of my Redis service. If I go ahead and escape :WQ to right quit those changes, I can cat my docker-compose.yml to see it right there. So for this to work, we need to have our app.py, our requirement.txt, and our Docker file pulled from the quick start. I'll throw the link in the description for that. And then we need to build that docker-compose.yml. And if we did that correctly, we can go ahead and docker compose up, just like we did in the last one, and it's going to pull all of that together. Services web ports must be an array, which means that I typed something wrong. I do that sometimes. Let's go ahead and go back in and take a look at it. It must be an array. I wonder if they have that on there. Let's go ahead and check the quick start guide. So if you are wanting to pull this up, Docker Compose, I think it was just from the Docker docs. Docker docs, that sounds weird, but it is the site. Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive deeper into this. I already did something like that. This is the app.py that I directly copied. Requirements.txt, Docker file, and then I wrote one of these. Oh, I'm supposed to put it in its own thing. Okay, I can fix that. Let's go ahead and insert mode. Escape, WQ. Alright, now it is going to pull all of that together and open it up. It should work, right? But this Docker Compose file is what allows it to all happen almost from like an orchestration point of view. We gave it the commands that it needs. We gave it the app file. We gave it the requirements. We gave it the Docker file. And then we just say, hey, Docker, do it for me. It's kind of lazy, but who cares at this point? No. But that is a way to think about it. Docker Compose is like having a conductor work inside of Docker for you. All we have to do is give it the right information and then set it to work, and it should work. Right now it's exporting our layers or creating that new image that it'll build our containers from. As soon as the build is done, we will be able to see this in action. Maybe not. Oh, that was a lot. All right, so it's saying that it is attached. It is saying that it's running. I've got a lot going on, so we're going to go up here to Firefox, and I'm just going to open up on localhost port 8000. Hello world, I've seen this. I have been seeing this once. I'm so bad at talking today. Can you believe they let me teach things? If I refresh this, just like it says, that's all it is. It's a counter. We can pop that up as many times as we want. But that Docker Compose, again, as another example, Control-C to quit gracefully or attempt to quit gracefully, and then I'm going to cat that compose. This file, how you can write it out with your services, say, hey, build my web service and expose this. Build my Redis service, and here's the image that it's coming from. Like always, go ahead and check out your Docker PSA. So I had Redis Alpine and Compose Basics Web. It created both of those for me. So if I check my Docker images, I have both of those still in use. Right? So we had two things up and running, even though it looked like we were only dealing with one app. It was really broken up between the Compose Basics Web and the Redis Alpine. And that would be a good point to dive deeper in and research how that's connected if you're interested in poking and prodding at this more. In the next video, we will set up a custom thing, but before then, I need to remove all of the stuff that I started so that I can make sure nothing is in use. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys have a day, week, year that you deserve.